Recording in progress.
Since we have to get to a football game. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call, please.
Wyatt,
Here.
Buns,
Present.
Sewell,
Here.
Reister, and Lawson are absent.
They're excused? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm assuming, I've done that as possible. Okay. All right, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, opposed? All right, motion to accept the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. I know, somewhere along in here that Kate wants to give us an update, from Dr. Voss on our school resource officer.
Oh, good. So just very quickly, I asked both Chief Banks, who's gonna speak after this, and Dr. Voss to give me an update on the SRO program that's been now in effect for almost a quarter, because he started November 1st, just to make sure everybody was up to date with how that program was going. So I'm gonna read Dr. Voss's email very quick, and we are gonna include it in the packet afterwards. He said, Kate, the SRO program became effective in Hudson schools on November 1st. As you indicate in your message below, we are approaching the end of the first quarter of existence. I have been pleased with the pace of development thus far, and Officer Karika has proven himself to be a good fit for this assignment. The bulk of his work activities to date have centered on relationship building with students across the district. Strong anecdotal evidence suggests that his presence across and around the district is ubiquitous. In addition, he is working closely with our student organizations to strengthen seatbelt compliance from our young drivers and is planning on an impaired driver driving simulation and instructional component with students later in the spring. Collaborative efforts are underway to co-teach in the health department topics such as alcohol and tobacco consumption and impairment, in the guidance classroom and the elementary on topic of bullying and safe school environment. I have a standing meeting with Officer Karika each Friday morning with our designated school safety officer, Mr. Bell, to review the week's work activities and provide guidance heading into the next week. From a law enforcement perspective, there have only been a couple of instances thus far that resulted in what I would deem traditional police work. In one instance, a minor traffic accident in a high school parking lot, which is not uncommon with young and inexperienced drivers, and one that resulted in an arrest of a parent on an outstanding warrant which didn't actually occur on but adjacent to campus. At this time, the program appears to be successful and functioning as designed. Tony Voss. So I appreciate his comments, and I wanted to make sure at least we get quarterly updates from both Chief Banks and the school in regards to that program, because we did do it as a one-year trial run for this. So Chief Banks, I would love your input as well quickly.
Well, I'm not gonna have the big words as Dr. Voss put in there. There's somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, he's a seasoned pro.
Yeah, yeah. I'm from Waterloo.
Right.
With Officer Creek is doing at school, he does still provide me with a daily log on what his activities are, what he does. And it's kinda entertaining because he was at the PD one day and he said, hey, I gotta get going, I gotta get to this class. And I'm like, I get to the school and stuff. So, he seems pretty active, Dr. Voss, and Deacon allows him to go out and play a little bit, do traffic in and around the school area. So that makes him happy, because sometimes he says there's not enough for him to do during the day. I teamed Officer Creek up with an individual I teamed up with in Chipola. His name's John. He's with the National Child Safety Council. I don't know, a lot of businesses will be getting a letter in reference to this program. This program, I have my changes to it, but John is very old school and doesn't like my changes. So this provides safety packets per different age groups that these kids can take home, dealing with texting, social media, based on their age group appropriate. So a lot of businesses will be receiving this letter. Hopefully they'll donate. I would like to see them make an app for this, because our kids are more technology. they could use on our app, but unfortunately John didn't like that idea, so it's still paper coloring books, pamphlets, et cetera, that they can give to parents. So, it's a good program, and I left it up to Jamal if he wanted to do it. And if you all know Jamal, he's excited for it, so.
Do you have a name of the program?
Yes, and I'll give this to you, Katie, it's the
Okay.
letter that's gonna go out to businesses, it's the National Child Safety Council.
Okay, thank you.
So, but yeah, other than that, I do check on, Jamal mentally, see where he's at. It's getting some of the kids are getting me and Jamal mixed up, which I don't get. My little son calls him Marika instead of Karika. I think he's doing a amazing job. I pop in every blue moon just to make sure I still have a good status with the kids, that they like me better than they like him. But I'm glad that you guys and the school, you guys made this happen, so, and I hope it continues.
Thanks for the update, appreciate that. Thanks for
Yeah.
the time.
You know, the couple of times that I've talked to him, he just is so enthusiastic about being in this position,
And the
so
kids.
that's
Yeah.
still, that's good to see, yeah.
Yep.
So. All right, we'll move on to committee reports, personnel admin committee meeting, Lori?
Yeah, okay, so we met on Monday, December 19th, and we had also in attendance at that meeting Keegan Crawford from Bank Iowa, Jane Messingham from Bank Iowa, Wade Itson from Bank Iowa, Michelle Mack from Lincoln Savings. So that was the only thing on our agenda, was deciding which bank will be the bank for the city of Hudson and where we will be making our deposits. So Chrissy had sent out a request for services, and both of them did reply by the deadline. Bank Iowa was set to expire this year in 2023. And then Chrissy presented for us a comparison after receiving those proposals. And let's see, the deadlines for services are about the same. It would cost the city $926.25 a year to take the deposits to Bank Iowa because of the distance. And it would cost the city $340 and some odd cents a year to take the deposit to Lincoln Savings Bank. So a little difference there, roughly $600 in the favor of Lincoln Savings Bank. But the biggest difference between the requests was actually interest rate. And Bank Iowa definitely had the advantage there. Their interest rate is 2.26% for a total of $56,500 per year gained for the city of Hudson. Whereas Lincoln Savings Bank interest on the city's money is about 1.75% for a total of about $43,750 for the year for the city. So the difference in the money gained on interest is $12,750. So the committee basically went with Bank Iowa based on the fact that the interest earned is greater than the cost for taking deposits. So we stay consistent with what we've done in the past year. I think that was it. Yeah.
Any questions for Lori? All right, thank you. We'll move into general government. The Hudson City Council maintains the right to waive the first and second readings of the ordinances presented and may pass the third and final reading of the same ordinance within the same council meeting. Item A, discussion action to approve the second reading of ordinance 879 and ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Hudson by adding chapter 102, fat, oil, grease, the FOG program.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any other discussion? All right, roll call please.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Sewell,
Aye.
Buns.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
Item B, discussion action to approve resolution 3017, a resolution to appoint council committees and mayor pro tem per mayor recommendation. George, anything you wanna add to that?
I agree with the way it's written.
Okay. All right, so,
I'll make a motion to approve as written in the agenda.
And I second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Sewell,
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
motion carries 3-0.
Okay. Item C, discussion action to approve resolution 3018, a resolution to appoint city clerk and deputy city clerk. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Buns,
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Sewell,
Aye.
motion carries 3-0.
Discussion action to approve resolution 3019, a resolution naming financial depository.
Miss Wilby Bank, Iowa.
Bank out.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
One thing that wasn't mentioned that I think is a good point is that once our balance, if we had gone with LSB, if it gone to below a certain amount, they would automatically transfer, and that just wasn't something we
Yeah,
were.
that was last year.
Oh,
That was
okay.
the last time that we did an RFP.
Oh, I thought it was part of this one too. Okay,
No, I
all right.
don't, I don't think so.
okay,
The only thing that I would even question about adding in there to the RFP too, and again, I don't know if anybody would agree with this or not, but with Lincoln Savings being local, is the amount of property taxes they pay that actually also comes to the city, which I think should be taken into consideration that it is a local business. However, even looking at that, if you added that into their side of it, we're still ahead with Bank Iowa. So, yeah, it's not gonna make, but I do think that, you know, that's something that we should also obviously take into consideration being a local business as well, so, just to mention that.
okay. Did we have a motion in a second?
Mhm.
Roll call then, please.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Sewell,
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
motion carries 3-0.
Discussion action to approve resolution, item E, to approve resolution 3020, a resolution authorizing official newspapers for the city of Hudson.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call then, please.
Sewell,
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
motion carries 3-0.
Item F, discussion action to approve resolution 3021, a resolution to establish 2023 mileage reimbursement.
Your turn.
My turn? Did it go up to 62 cents?
I was just gonna ask
It went
that.
up to 65.
65.
65?
Yeah, it went up, so it went up to
They did that
62 in, went from 58 to 62 cents in July as a
That's right.
mid-year adjustment, and then it adjusted again and it went up to 65.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sewell,
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
motion carries 3-0.
Item G, discussion action to approve resolution 3022, a resolution regarding city attorney appointment.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion?
We didn't increase fees or anything this year?
No.
Well, appreciate that.
Did you buy a new car?
That was a couple years ago.
No, no, I appreciate and like the opportunity to serve with you.
We appreciate you.
And we
Yes, thank
appreciate you
you.
for sure.
All right, roll call, please.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Sewell,
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
motion carries 3-0.
Welcome back.
Item H, discussion action to approve resolution 3023, a resolution approving the transfer of funds for December 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sewell,
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
motion carries 3-0.
Item I, discussion action to approve resolution 3024, a resolution for approval of pre-construction agreement for primary road.
So moved.
Second, sorry.
And this is,
So this is 58 is being reconstructed this year. They're doing milling and overlaying. So we're gonna roll in 2, 4, 6, 8, about 10 intersections with it.
what I read.
And we're gonna pave back to the DOT right away. So that way when we do road work ourselves, we don't have to have the hassle of getting a DOT right away permit.
Perfect.
And also, when I was initially talking with the DOT, they were thinking it was gonna be somewhere in the neighborhood of 50,000. Well, now they're cut that in half, and they're thinking around 26,000,
Perfect.
so.
Oh, nice.
Appreciate the forward thinking to
Yeah.
get this all set up and done so it helps in the future, so.
And they're also gonna pave back on our gravel roads too, an additional 50 foot. one for safety, cause like when we're out there grading, we have to grade up to 58,
Mhm.
and we all know where the gravels lie on that road,
Yep.
so that's part of that too.
Great, okay. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Wyatt,
Aye.
Sewell,
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
motion carries 3-0.
All right, item J, discussion, action to approve resolution 3025, a resolution setting public hearing for amending the code of ordinances of the city of Hudson, Iowa, 2017 by amending provisions pertaining to sidewalks.
Can you tell us what the difference was?
So, the way that our ordinances read now is that we require adjacent property owners to remove, snow from their sidewalk within a reasonable time. Well, there's no reasonable time listed. And so it was asked, to change it, and I think I put 48 hours in it, rather than,
Yeah, which, my reasonable time could be when it melts in May.
right, yeah. Yeah, so we just wanna make it uniform across and that way, in the event of when we have snow and people aren't cleaning off their sidewalk, then
How does that impact somebody if they're like on vacation? Do we give them
that's
some
different.
grace?
That'll
I would
probably
say
be
that that's the community policing that we talk about and everything, or you have your neighbor do it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it might be their
Just ask
responsibility
somebody while
to
you're gone.
But I know
line up
there's-
somebody to do that.
There is some, and especially rental properties right now that I saw just driving around town after this most recent snow that never did shovel. So, and there's footprints in it, so people are using the sidewalk, so then it becomes a safety issue, so
Yeah.
we need to make sure it's being
Okay,
done.
so moved.
Second.
And this is just to set the public hearing, so. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Sewell,
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
motion carries 3-0.
Item K, discussion action to approve resolution 3026, a resolution approving a consolidated public safety communications 28E agreement between the city of Hudson, Iowa, Blackhawk County, and the cities of Waterloo, Cedar Falls, Evansdale, Dunkerton, and Gilbertville. And this is just our traditional agreement.
Yes.
I was just gonna say, there was discussion that they were gonna change it, so did they decide not to do that at this juncture?
George, you wanna answer?
Restate the question, it wasn't real clear.
Sorry, George, I thought at one point there was a discussion they were gonna make changes to this contract, so did they kick that can down the road a little bit, and this is the same contract from last year?
I read this most recent draft, there was a few changes from an earlier. I would say there's a possibility Cedar Falls or Waterloo are going to object. Probably Cedar Falls from the standpoint that this also is anticipating putting in a tax levy at the county level to pay for the consolidated communication, as opposed to prior to that, it was based 20% on population of the jurisdiction and 80% on calls for service. Waterloo's always had a problem with that. Cedar Falls has had no problem with it because they get a fairly good bargain deal. It's been the consensus of the smaller communities in Waterloo and Sheriff Thompson to go ahead and move to this county-wide level levy. I'm in agreement with that. From the city of Hudson perspective, it does not affect us very much. What I'm concerned is the possibility is that Cedar Falls Council will not approve it on the basis of the movement to the levy. However, it does not take a unanimous approval of this agreement, it simply takes a majority approval. So I recommend that the city would go ahead and approve it and help move it through the process.
Well, it's only a one-year agreement, and I don't see anything about a potential levy, but.
It's 1 year, that's the only real question I had on it, is that, it's 1 year, but automatically extending for a period, I think, up to 3 successive renewals. If they move to a countywide levy, it'll be really tough to break that apart, because it's really moving it, the full responsibility
Here it is.
to the county.
Here's the sentence you're talking about. The Blackhawk County 911 Service Board, hereinafter referred to as 911 Board, will pay for 100% of 911 related costs. And then it says, in the event funds are not available through the 911 Board, expenses not covered would then be absorbed into the center's budget and covered under the EMA levy.
Yep.
That's the sentence they don't like.
Yep.
Ah, okay.
Do you still
One of the
recommend?
things that started this whole thing was, we'd struggled for the last, I guess, 7 years on the assessments. It used to be, it started out as being a 10% on population, 90% calls to service. I think 2 years ago, we moved it to the 80-20, which was a step in that direction. We also agreed at the emergency management level to go ahead and have an independent consultant group analyze the call center, and what they came back with is that the call center is a mid-size call center, but is operating as a small cost center from a standpoint of being way out of whack on staffing, out of whack on supervision, and that's why they're anticipating probably immediately a 25% increase in the budget, probably ultimately a 50% increase in budget. And for that reason, I felt on behalf of the city of Hudson, as well as the other municipalities, is that this is the time to get it switched over into a countywide levy and take it out of this sometimes internal bannering that goes on.
They're not gonna- yeah.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Sewell,
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
motion carries 3-0.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, George.
Information items, there are 8 included in the packet. Reminder items that regularly scheduled meetings are held at the council chambers except for the library board. Public Works Committee, January 11th. Mayor's Task Force, which has been canceled. Personnel, Admin, Finance on January 23rd. And Public Safety on January 26th. And the next 2 council meetings will be Monday, January 23rd and February 13th. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are adjourned.
Peace out.